Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
Together, we're Backyard Musings. Thank you for joining us, People's Republic of California.
And today we're talking about a study that everybody should be interested in, right?
That's
Everybody.
right. A Penn State study finds that even small boosts in perceived control dramatically increase the likelihood of resolving daily stressors. A tight deadline at work, a plumbing problem at home, or a disagreement with someone close can all turn an ordinary day into a stressful one. When several of these challenges come at once, they may feel overwhelming, as if there's no clear way forward, and then you have a mental breakdown. But new research that included scientists from Penn State suggests that feeling a greater sense of control can make it easier to deal with these daily obstacles. Or you could just not care, right? I don't care.
Yeah. Just what is it? What is it that Woody Harrelson says?
Hakuna Matata. He says Hakuna Matata.
Yeah, I just forget about it.
Yeah.
So.
The study was published in the journal Communication Psychology on August 27, 2025. Would you like to know more?
According to the study, people were 62% more likely to take practical steps to address their problems, such as making a necessary phone call or starting a tough conversation, on days when they felt more control than usual. This effect became stronger with age. The results point to the idea that a person's perception of control may serve an important resource for handling everyday stress, one that can be developed or increased over time to support both daily functioning and long-term health, which we all want.
Yeah. Quote, this research shows that even small boosts in how much control people feel they have over everyday hassles make it more likely that those hassles actually get resolved, said David Almeida, professor of human development and family studies at Penn State and senior author in the paper. But if both people are trying to control you, it's going to get out of control.
That's when you bring out the 9mm.
Continuing the quote, learning to find and act on these pockets of control in daily life may not only reduce stress, but also support long-term health and well-being.
Okay. How people respond to stress is a dynamic process, according to previous research led by Almeida, and the accumulation of stress over time, including from minor daily inconveniences, can impact health. Resolving stressors, such as settling an argument, is a key part in how stress is processed, especially in helping emotions settle. I mean, I got an easy remedy for that. Just whatever you say, dear. That's my go-to.
Yep. The research team set out to examine whether perceived control over stressors, the sense that people feel individual agency over daily challenges, was associated with a greater likelihood that the stressor would be resolved. For example, does feeling control over a billing error motivate a person to call the company to fix it? Several factors can influence one's sense of perceived control, including the type of stressor, the frequency with which they occur, and socioeconomic factors.
Well, I can tell you. So it all depends to me. It all depends on how the person you're calling or conversing with deals with the problem. If they don't think, or if I feel that they don't care, it's game on. You know, if they don't care, I'm going to let them know how much I care. However that goes. So, quote, if perceived stressor control promotes stress resolution, can we leverage that as a modifiable resource to influence stressor resolution and therefore our emotional health and well-being? Okay. Too heavy for me. Asked lead author Dakota Witzel, who was a postdoctoral scholar at the Center for Healthy Aging at Penn State during the time of the research, and is now an assistant professor at South Dakota State University. I wonder if they gave her the boot, or maybe Dakota is that a woman or a man, or do we know? Maybe they
could go either way. Could go either way, like Jordan.
Yeah, maybe they gave them the boot. So
yeah, them. Okay,
because that's quite a change from Penn State to South Dakota.
Yeah, it is. The team analyzed data from over 1,700 adults who participated in the national study of daily experiences. Well, a component of midlife in the United States survey, the National Longitudinal Study on Health and Well-Being. For 8 consecutive days, participants reported on daily stressors that occurred in the past 24 hours and whether the stressor was resolved by the end of the day. The survey included common types of stress, such as interpersonal tension, including arguments and avoided arguments, job or home-related stress, or work overload and network stress. Stressors that happen to other people like family or friends but are stressful to the participant.
Participants also reported how much control they felt they had over reported stressors on a scale from none, a little, some, to a lot of control. Okay. The team repeated the survey with the same participants 10 years later to see if the relationship between perceived control and stressor resolution changed over time. Man, if I haven't talked to somebody over a problem for 10 years, I ain't going back. I'm going to revisit that. I'm done.
To be honest, Scott, I can't even remember the lies I told this morning. You know what I'm saying?
I hope your kid just didn't hear that.
I am. But it's funny. I said that to a Marine lieutenant colonel on the phone in Iraq, and it sounded like he was going to reach through the phone and grab my neck. The researchers found that a person's perceived sense of control over everyday hassles and challenges varies greatly from one day to the next. In other words, the level of perceived daily control isn't a constant or static trait of the individual. The relative perception of control is what matters.
Overall, across all age groups, days when participants felt that they had a greater sense of control over daily stressors than they normally do, reporting that they had some control when they usually report only a little control increases the odds of resolving the problem. The results didn't vary by the type or severity of the stressor.
The relationship always strengthened as participants got older. At the start of the study, on days of higher perceived control, participants were 61% more likely to resolve the stressor that day. 10 years later, and a little bit more experience and wisdom, the same boost in perceived control and the same people had a 65% chance that a stressor would be resolved. Quote, this work also begins to show that as we get older, not only do we have more control, but that control helps us get better at handling stress, Witzel said.
The findings suggest that perceived control could be a lever to mitigate and manage stress, our daily stress. Quote, it's encouraging news that daily control isn't fixed. It can be strengthened through practical strategies such as setting priorities or reframing what's within reach, according to Almeida. We need to figure out how we can create the context and setting to allow people to feel more control.
Yeah, like setting the narrative. Yeah. For example, Almeida suggested focusing on what's within one's influence, such as breaking big challenges into manageable parts and using time blocking or lists to track progress. That always helps. You get, instead of one big thing, you get a bunch of little things done. Endorphins kick in, you feel great. This can help build momentum with quick wins. Asking for help or delegating tasks can help create an environment where one feels supported and therefore more in control of their situation. Ending the day with a brief reflection can also better prepare you for the next day.
Oh, yeah, I do that every day. Always
you think about how you got screwed.
The research team plans to continue to explore the nature of the relationship between perceived control and stress resolution, including how it may influence chronic stress. Is this study, we're talking about daily stressors, the minor inconveniences that occur throughout the day, but there's also chronic stress where people are continually impacted by stressors again and again. That's according to Wetzel. Going on with the quote, exploring the idea of whether resolution can be a mechanism that decreases the effect of chronic stress is an interesting area to explore. Yeah, you just keep doing that.
Yeah, I suppose if it keeps getting stressful, just let it go. Hakuna Matata.
Yeah. Look in the mirror, man, because it's probably the people you're hanging out with or your attitude. So just, it's all good.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Try not to have stress in your life. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day.